Welcome to the College Football Props Show presented by LineStar. I'm Shannon Sommerville with your top college football player prop bets for Week 10. Hope everyone had a nice Halloween. But now, as you know, anytime it's Halloween, the following weekend, of course, leads us to the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Georgia, Florida is this week. Of course, I got you covered with a pick from that game. We also have plenty of picks to get to, but before we do, our picks are available on Underdog, Sleeper, Chalkboard, and Parlay Play. And if you don't have those apps, I've got links for you below. The key is to use the promo code LineStar so that you can get a nice, juicy deposit match. Plus, you'll also get one free month of the LineStar app, which is the tool that I'm using to help me find the best value in the prop market. Basically, what we do is we use the Props AI tool within the LineStar app, and it compares LineStar's projections to what's out there in the prop market. So it's just a really great tool if you guys are really into prop betting. Check it out, linestarapp.com. And one last thing, if you could like this video, subscribe to the channel and comment below. It helps me out tremendously in the good old YouTube algorithm, but it also helps you out because if we go 4 for 4 on our picks, one randomly selected commenter will win $60. Basically, I'm taking all of my picks, putting them on an entry on Underdogs, a flex entry of $10. And if we win, I'm just giving out the winnings of that ticket to a subscriber, just as a thank you to all of your comments and for tuning in to us each and every week. So let's get after it here this week. We got some great games on the slate. Man, I'm excited for Week 10, especially that Georgia-Florida game. I am a Georgia fan, and I am sweating this one out. Each and every year, I'm always nervous for this one, even though we're favored by more than 2 touchdowns. It's never an easy one when you have to battle Florida. It's going to be a good game, though. I'm looking forward to it. But I'm actually going to start things off in the ACC, and with the pick we took last week. Quickly recapping last week, we were 2-2 on our picks. Almost forgot to recap last week. Texas Tech wide receiver Josh Kelly. That wasn't a great read by me. Over 76.5 receiving yards. He had just 19. What killed us is the change of quarterback there. Kind of screwed that one up a little bit. So shouldn't have taken that one. But where we were right, wide receiver Luther Burden went under 59.5 receiving yards. He had just 3. And then UNC running back Omarion Hampton over 103.5 rushing yards. Yeah, it was a close one. That was a sweat with that one. He finished with just 105, and I know some of you guys might have gotten a late line on that, so you might not have hit that one. So apologies for that. But Georgia Tech running back Jamal Hayes, I think we were right on the read. He was just not that efficient in terms of his rushing game. Over 52.5 rush yards. He finished with 47, but the volume was there. He just wasn't able to get his usual efficiency there. So I don't think we're too far off on our reads overall. Just on the Josh Kelly one, I wish I could take that pick back. But you know where I'm headed again this week? Back to the ACC's lead rusher once again in an even better matchup. We're going with UNC Tar Heel running back Omarion Hampton over 103.5 rushing yards. This is the same line that we got last week, and you're talking about an even juicier matchup for him. Yeah, I'm going right back here because LineStar's projection is even higher than it was for him last week. It's 118.7. He's averaging 125 rush yards per game, had 105 last week against a Virginia team that ranked 9th in the ACC in rush defense. This week going up against a Florida State defense that ranks dead last in the ACC in rush yards allowed per game, 179.3 per game. Opposing running backs have gone over this in 3 of the last 4 games against FSU. We just saw Miami's Damien Martinez torch them for 148 last week, and he's not even a triple-digit rush yards rusher. He averages about 66 per game. Then before that, we saw Clemson's Phil Maffa put up 154. Brashard Smith from SMU, 129. The only one who didn't go over was Star Thomas. He had about 88 or so in that matchup. But 3 of 4, they were crushing it. And when you look at Hampton, he is an absolute beast. Combination of size and speed that just like stresses defense to their maximum capacity. And here's the thing, FSU is going to know exactly what's coming at them. They're just not going to be able to stop it. UNC 2.5-point favorites on the road in this one. It's a competitive game environment, which actually I like the script here. I think they're going to keep feeding it to their main offensive weapon in this one. Omarion Hampton over 103.5 rush yards in this one. I love the spot here once again for the ACC's leading rusher. And that kind of leads me to my next pick. We're going to keep it in the ACC and go to Miami's Damien Martinez, the running back I just talked about who just torched FSU. We're going to go over on 61.5 rush yards. LineStar's projection for Martinez is 63. Going up against Duke. Now, Duke has a very good pass defense, number 1 in passing yards allowed. So The rush defense for them, though, 15th in rush yards allowed per game. So this could be a situation where even though we know that Miami is predicated on Cam Ward in that passing game and airing it out, I think they could lean into their rush defense or their rushing game a little bit more in this one, given that's where Duke's weakness is. Martinez is averaging 66 rushing yards per game and has gone over in 4 of 8 games and just had 148 last week against FSU. As I mentioned, he had 89 against Louisville, and they ranked 10th in rush yards allowed per game, just to give you an idea of maybe the caliber of defense rush defense they'll be facing. Again, Duke is 15th in that category. Miami's also 20.5 point home favorites in this one. So if they get out to an early lead, this script could definitely dictate more of the running backs taking the load, just carrying the ball and securing the win. So I like Damien Martinez here over 61.5 rushing yards. Next up, I'm going to the Big Ten, and Penn State is taking on the Ohio State. I've got Penn State's running back Kaytron Allen over on his receiving yards. The line right now is 4.5, and I'm liking the over. LineStar does too. 6.6 is LineStar's projection, the consensus projection, which is an average of all of the other industry leaders and their projections, has it around 7.9. That's about what he's averaging, 7.4 per game, and he's only gone over this in 3 of 7 games. Here's where I think he could get over. Ohio State has one of the best rush defenses in the country. They're 4th, allowing just 92 rush yards per game. So I'm not really going near his rushing yards total in this one, given the fact that they have a great rush defense, but I think that could force Penn State to find some interesting ways to get Kaytron Allen the ball in this one. He doesn't have a ton of experience as a pass catcher out of the backfield, but they could incorporate some screen and swing passes for him. And Allen is just such a difficult guy to bring down once he gets rolling. Last week, 4 receptions for 22 receiving yards against Wisconsin, including 1 reception for 11 yards. So what we're saying here with this 4.5 receiving yards line is that basically he just needs 1 reception to get over that. So I'm liking our odds here, especially considering the fact that quarterback Drew Allar for Penn State, he may or may not be playing. It's a game time decision. He left last week's game with a knee injury, but he should be back according to some of the beat writers and their takes on the situation, but he could be dealing with some kind of an MCL sprain, in which case he might not be as mobile and he might have to get the ball to Kaytron Allen in different ways, check it down, get rid of it quickly, and therefore I like the over here on the receiving yards total for Kaytron Allen. Even though he's not typically a pass catcher in this one, I think the scenario kind of lends itself. So I like our odds here for over 4.5 receiving yards. Let me know what you think, though, in the comments. Lastly, of course, I got to include a pick from the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, Georgia, Florida. We are going with Florida's freshman quarterback, though, DJ Lagway, over 200.5 pass and rush yards. I really like this. I hate to say it as a Georgia Bulldogs fan, but LineStar's projection is 238. Consensus projection is 212. DJ Lagway has been over this in both of his 2 starts this season. He had 259 passing yards against a Kentucky team that had a really good pass defense. They rank 3rd in the SEC in passing yards allowed, and now he's going up against a Georgia team that has struggled in the secondary a little bit, ranked 7th of 16 teams in the SEC in passing yards allowed per game. And given the script in this one, right now Georgia is 14.5 point favorites. That could indicate more of passing and airing it out for the Gators in this one, which would lend itself to the over. Also, when you look at DJ Lagway, he's impressive and scares me as a Georgia Bulldogs fan. 6'3", 240, has the ability to make big plays with his arms, but he can also execute designed runs, which is something that actually terrifies me because Georgia has struggled at times with those dual threat quarterbacks. We've seen it time and time again, even a little bit against Auburn, but you really saw it against Alabama. Jalen Milroe has their number. And I'm not saying that they're going to lose the game, but I definitely think this is an area to target, especially considering the line is just 200.5 passing and rushing yards. I like the combination that we're getting there and the value. So we're going DJ Lagway over 200.5 pass and rush yards. So those are our top 4 picks for this week. But let me know what you think. If you've got any different locks for this week in college football, please let me know in the comments. But as far as our ticket is concerned for the show and the contest, we're rolling with Hampton over 103.5 rush yards, Martinez over 61.5 rushing yards, Kaytron Allen over 4.5 receiving yards, and DJ Lagway over 200.5 pass and rush yards. By the time I got to enter it in on Underdog, that line for Hampton had already bumped up to 104. I'm still okay with it at 104, but I think I'm going to stop it there. Maybe no higher than that one. See if you can find some better value. But those are our top 4 picks. Hope everyone had a happy Halloween. Hope you guys enjoy all of the games that Week 10 has to offer. We got some great ones on the slate, that some of them that I didn't even talk about. So if you've got any other locks for this week, not even just in prop betting, but in, the sides, are there any underdogs I should be aware of? Please let me know in the comments. Give me your sports betting advice as well. We're all in it together to try to help each other out and beat the books. That's the common goal, right? Good luck, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. And make sure, if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. Check out our NFL picks as well for Week 9 in the NFL. We've got some good ones. Go check it out. We'll see you next time.